First of all, that war lasted 3 months, 90-something days. It didn't last a year, neither did it last for 1 year. So we get that facts straight. Secondly, the oil price at that time was below $18 per barrel. So there is no way you could make 12.4 billion in 3 months. I mean, simple common sense arithmetic. You couldn't have made that amount of money. But Pius Okigwo, he knows what he's doing. He has brain. And he said between 1986 or 1988 to 1994, monies that accrued to the federal government at that time was about that money you are calling windfall. Right? He said so. It's there in his book. Then the other thing he said the monies could have gone into, the phrase he used was generative investment. I'm not an economist, but I have an understanding of what this is. Our argument then was, if you have the money, why keep it and be looking at it that you have money when you have got a lot of other things that will benefit the ordinary man? So it's a school of thought difference, that's all. But that money was not stolen.
So where is the money?
It's what you see now in the country. Thank God, most of the infrastructures we put in place are what you are using today, and proudly so.
What are these infrastructures that you are talking about?
I moved to Abuja, for example. I built Abuja. Today you have a brand new capital. We use that money. I gave you a 3rd mainland bridge. You cannot build it now for all the money Nigeria is going to have. And what did it cost me? 500, 600, 700 million. For those of us here, for the first time, a double carriageway was seen in the northern part of the country, between Kaduna, Kano, and then linked it up from Abuja, Kaduna, Kano. First time in 1986. You cannot afford to do it now. You cannot afford to even touch it.
You talked about Abuja being a brand new city. Surprisingly, the city is perhaps the only modern capital without a rail transport system. How come you never thought of building a rail transport system, or was it not part of the master plan?
The first standard gauge railway was established during our regime. If you ever travel, just go to a place called Itakwe, trying to get into Delta. It is a standard gauge railway. So we put these things where we think the country will benefit from it.
If, as you said, you did so well, why then is the perception that your government and your person are the most corrupt in Nigeria? And are you worried about this perception?
No. You know why? Because now a lot of you can reflect. A lot of you can think back. A lot of you now are saying, yes, this is it. Agreed. Maybe if we try to tell you, you didn't like our faces at that time. You believe quite rightly, quite wrongly, that we are all crooks. Let them out. Let them out. And I bear no grudge whatsoever against anybody. But I know the time will come when they will say, after all, they have done something. And this is what is happening. Now, even our fiercest critics give us credit for certain things we do.
You are regarded as one of the wealthiest Nigerians living. How did you make your money?
That is if you believe I have the money. Again, well, okay, what is this? If you give me if you give me some facts that okay, throw it and say this is it, then I have cause to explain. But I know who I am. I know what I represent. I know what values I stand for. A lot of us will not make such stupid mistakes.
What are the investments of IBB?
Simple. Like any other Nigerian, and those are very simple. Let me tell you something. Maybe you have a hand in it. I have been the most investigated president Nigeria has ever had. By now, somebody should have come up forward to say, damn, here it is. Every government that came after me investigated me because of that perception, because he wanted to retrieve the billions I stole.
We interviewed General Olusegun Obasanjo and we asked him how he makes his money, and he told us that he is a big-time farmer. In your case, what do you do? How do you earn money?
My pension.
It was said that you have a stake in one of the telecoms companies. Is it true?
But that issue has been laid to rest for a long time. The Globacom came, they issued out statements. Nothing of that thing. Agreed, they are good, they are doing well, and I'm proud that they came up during our time. But I'm fairly very arrogant man. I don't plead. If you are good, it's good for us, go ahead and do it.
So what are your investments? You must have some investments sustaining you since you left office.
Will assure you that using my head, I came to one conclusion, that the best investment for someone like me is banking.
Which bank are we talking about here?
Again, investigate it.
We have observed a trend. Most Nigerian leaders come into office not comfortable financially, but by the time they are leaving, they become billionaires. Why is it so?
You said most. Let me tell you on my own. When I got into office, August of 1985, I made a declaration, and it is there in record. What I have, what I possessed, everything. And when I left, not much has changed. Before I became president, I was living in this environment. Nobody seemed to know that. I tried farming before I became president. I failed. So that's why I said I'm not going to touch it anymore. And so on. So it depends. I am also not sure that every president has left as a rich man. I know what they are. They are not.
But the talk at that time was that there was a rift between you and Buhari, and he wanted to dismiss you from the army.
No. Let me give you a lesson today. A coup or a change comes about if there is a frustration in the society. Let's get that right. There was a frustration in the society between 1984 to 1985. And the ground was fertile for any coup. It wasn't fertile, thank be to God, in December when the first attempt on me was made. Neither was it fertile in 1990, April, when the second attempt was made. And we have the support of all of you sitting down here. You write, you analyze, you talk, you demonstrate it, you shout. It was not unusual then to hear, in the case of democratically elected government of 1983, a common phrase is, the worst military regime is better than this government. So they are giving us impetus to stage a coup. And we knew when you stage it, you will come to the street and clap for us. We are not dummies. If we don't have the support of all of you, we wouldn't venture into this.
We cannot end this interview without talking about June 12th. Why was it annulled?
We gave you a lot of reasons why we did. But, again, I understood the passion at that time. Everybody was fed up, everybody was tired. Just pack your things, buzz off, right? That's what happened. Again, because our thought process is always very limited and shallow and so on. First of all, on the 23rd of June, I was in the air. I told you why we had to do what we did. But I was also not, sensible enough to know that whatever I said, nobody is interested in hearing it. Nobody will believe me at that time. So the important thing is get out. And I will hate to say it, but it happened. When we left, or when we annulled June 12, the same Nigerians supported the intervention of the military government. True or false? True, because you saw it. You are all big enough. Those who fought for June 12 ended up serving the military government that they didn't like. And that perpetuated the longer stay of the military.